Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Eric May, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from Regenx Technology Corp. Before we introduce our speaker, a few points to note. Please submit your questions in the question box to the left of the slides. If you are interested in scheduling a meeting with Regenx Technology, please click on the Schedule Meetings tab found in the platform navigation bar. You'll be able to view the company's availability and submit a meeting request. On a final note, all of today's presentations will be recorded and available for 24/7 replay. At this point, I am very pleased to welcome Greg Pandura, Chief Executive Officer of Regenx Technology Corp, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol RGXTF and also on the TSXV under the symbol RGX. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you, everyone. Excited here to be able to communicate what Regenx is all about to the new people to do the story. Our clean tech technology is really going to be the futures of precious metal recovery, and we work under the key components, if you like, of sustainability, environmentally friendly technology, as well as how we fit into the circular economy. Some of our larger customers are obviously looking at ways to tell their shareholders that they're good corporate citizens and they are being able to use not only recycled products, but the products that are captured from them in the manufacture of new products. So I think we have a very exciting story, and I'm glad that you're here to join us. Now, very briefly here, the executive summary, just to keep things in perspective. We're going to be involved in a very lucrative market. It's a high value, multi-billion-dollar market. It's a niche opportunity. We'll be the only company in that platform that's a clean technology. The supply chain management aspect of what we're doing is totally looked after by our JV partner. Global expansion opportunity is enormous, and the economics of what we're doing are going to be very, very, very favorable, and we can talk about that a bit as we move forward. The diesel catalytic converter market is expected to grow rather aggressively. As you can see, $25 billion in 2017 to $39 billion in 2025. It's a large market, and it's a market that it's only being 30% being recovered due to factors which I'll get into, but the diesel catalytic converter market is anticipated to grow, as I said, 50% here in the last 8 years, and the growth is going to continue. A lot of people may not be aware of it, but 84% of the world's supply of palladium is used in catalytic converters. That's annually. So 84% of the total annual production of palladium goes into the manufacture of catalytic converters. Some people think that because of EVs or electric vehicles that diesel catalytic converters are going to be a dying market, but it's definitely not. As I said already, it's a growing market. It's going to grow aggressively. There's many factors beyond just transportation where diesel catalytic converters are going to grow. But even just within the transportation industry itself, it's going to take a very, very long time for EVs to even give competition to diesel catalytic converters. And in that period of time, as I said, we have no competition in the marketplace, and we'll have a difficult time even aggressively expanding to scratch the surface of what's available. So our first initiative in our business in the recovery of precious metals is diesel catalytic converters, and we got involved in this business primarily because of meetings with our joint venture partner, which started 3.5 to 4 years ago, and the problem was presented to us through him. And as I said, it's a growing problem. It's expanding at approximately a growth rate of 50% per year. We're wasting a scarce resource. So on mining sustainability, obviously a key factor. If $21 billion a year of platinum and palladium are basically wasted, that means that every year you have to mine $21 billion of platinum and palladium, and go through the whole process of mining, from finding the deposit to getting the permitting to mining to processing to transport. It's a real issue which we're going to be dealing with here. And currently, there's no alternatives. I mean, the only commercially viable way of recovering platinum and palladium from diesel catalytic converters, or any catalytic converter, is smelters. And smelters, as everyone knows, they're pretty well maxed out these days. They're busy. They've also got issues on the regulatory side with carbon emissions, and so they're pretty well tapped out. But the biggest reason for the surplus of diesel catalytic converters is simply that the processing issues that the silicon carbide in the diesel catalytic converters create for smelters, creates hot spots in the furnaces, which creates, I can call it, little minor explosions and stuff, which is problematic. It also sludges up their processing system, which reduces their recovery of metals and other areas. So smelters can process diesel catalytic converters, but they simply don't want to, and hence the opportunity which we are going to. The growing problem, as I mentioned before, on the diesel catalytic converter side is not just cars and light trucks. It's heavy transportation. It's any off-road vehicle. It's our off-road machinery, heavy-duty equipment. On the industrial side, if you see a smokestack, you're probably looking at a catalytic converter as well. So it's a expansive market, and it's going to continue to grow. As I mentioned already, wasting a scarce resource. It's not sustainable. It's a precious metals, as long with other metals as well, is a finite resource. So any time that you can help supplant that is obviously a positive. One of our plants, with the 4-module facility, which our four module concept, which I'll be talking about, will recover approximately 70,000 ounces per year of platinum and palladium. So that's pretty significant. So as we grow, that number only increases as well. And again, currently there's no alternatives. Smelting is the only game in town, if you like, and smelters are simply refusing to accept. Most smelters, all smelters in North America. There's only one smelter internationally, a smaller one, which will do diesel catalytic converters. The rest prefer not to. Our partner in our business, our JV partner, is a company called Davis Recycling. They're out of Johnson City, Tennessee, and very, very fortunate to have this company as our JV partner. They've been in the recycling business for over 20 years. They focus on the eastern seaboard, primarily in the 13 states around Tennessee, but their network expands beyond that, further north to the west coast. As I said, they've got an ample network to spread across the U.S. They are considered a tier one recycler, highly respected in the industry, and they are the supply chain management expertise in our business, if you like. In the recycling business, seems maybe simple. It's not. It's a complicated, complex business, and all the way from procurement of the feedstock to grading it, to inventorying it, to it's complicated, and dealing with the amount of the volume of dollars that we are on a daily basis, there's very little room for error. So to have a company like Davis to be in our camp working together with us dramatically reduces the risk of our business going forward. All that we have to do is do what we know best, which is the recovering of the precious metals from the materials, which I'll explain shortly. But very strong partnership. It's an equity partnership. 55% is of the business is controlled by us. 45% Davis Recycling, and this will apply to the United States itself. And as I said, we're very, very excited to have this group with us, and they've done a lot of work with us over the last 3 years and have been a very integral partner for us. So our process is a clean tech metal recovery system. Very, very simply, the input materials are think of it as fine ground material. This is done through Davis Recycling as well. They get the catalytic converters sourced into their facilities in Tennessee. There they decant it, it's called, which the catalytic converter is cut. And I'm sure most people understand what a catalytic converter is. But sorry about that. But it's a device which reduces the toxic emissions coming out of a car. So with that, it looks like a muffler basically, and so Davis accumulates all these from various sources. They come into their factories. As I said, they decant it. They take out what's called a honeycomb, which is the portion which is coated with the platinum and the palladium, and that honeycomb is then goes through various grinding processes until it gets into a fine ground powder. That ground powder then is sent to our facility, pretty well adjacent to their facility, and we have two processes. We have a chemical process whereby we extract the metals from the powder, suspended into solution, and then we have a operating process technology where it goes through various phases where the metal is taken out of solution and it goes back into solid form. That's how we recover the precious metals. And at the end of all that, we have a upgraded concentrate, and various buyers are standing in line to purchase it, from platinum palladium traders to other larger businesses that want to be part of what we're doing. And also, we have the option ourselves of simply to sell that material at spot price in the marketplace. So our technology will recover over 90% of the precious metals from the retired catalytic converters. It's done in a environmentally friendly way. We will not have an issue with plant permits. It's a completely environmentally friendly process. The From an air perspective to a water perspective, um, even the end product. Our facility is going to be doing 10 tons of material daily of catalytic converters. So out of those 10 tons, we get ounces of precious metals, and the remainder is, you can think of it as tailings, like in a mining operation. Those tailings, even though they're inert, they're non-toxic. They won't go to a landfill. There will be industrial uses for them, which we've got in place already. And so you can think of our process as going to be basically a non-zero environmental footprint, and that's pretty significant. And we're really excited about that. And to prevent a technology like this to the marketplace is obviously going to attract a lot of attention, and we're going to get a lot of, I believe, exposure because of that, and a lot of interest, not just from the investor community, but also from the general community at large. The commercial plant economics, like I referred to, is very attractive. Um, the A typical plant is going to have four modules. We wanted to design the plant in a modular concept, simply to there'll be no downtime if a module needs to be maintained or whatever. The other three modules will continue, so the plant itself will never be shut down. It's more efficient to run into a more modular concept, as opposed to having just one large process. Uh, the each module is designed to do 2.5 tons of product a day. So a four module facility will be doing 10 tons of material a day. Our capex for a four module facility, it will be $7 million, and the projected capex payback is less than 1 year. So very attractive business model from an economic perspective. Um, after the first plant is up and running, it's basically just a duplication of technologies to go into expansion or into succeeding plants. So we're going to have aggressive growth, and it's what we're looking at here is not just a North American problem; it's a global problem, and we've got inquiries from Europe, Middle East. This issue is an issue, as I said, globally, and there has to be a solution. And as I said, as of now, will be the only solution on a commercial basis to succeed attracting or recovering platinum and palladium from diesel catalytic converters. So our basically our strategies, if you like, what we address in our strategies is, I mentioned a bit already, the environmental stewardship, to have a clean technology in the business that's typically looked upon as environmentally unfriendly is obviously I'll call it a feather in our hats. It's we're getting such good positive feedback from corporate people as we're moving forward that it's very exciting. Um, the sustainability aspect of what I talked about. It's mining is going after a finite resource, as I said, and it's getting more difficult, more expensive, and more regulatory restricted to proceed on the mining side. And anything that can be done to assist in that regard is going to be a benefit. Especially for platinum and palladium, there's large geopolitical problems associated with it. The two largest countries that produce platinum and palladium are number one, South Africa, and number two, Russia. Russia, we know about all the problems it's having there, and who knows what's going to happen there. South Africa's got its own issues. They've got their electrical grid is under a lot of pressure right now, and a lot of blackouts. Processing precious metals takes a lot of energy, and it's problematic. So any time you can help replenish from a recover recycling basis on what we're doing, it's just an added bonus for the mining aspect of that business. So we're very excited to be part of that and to assist in that area. I mentioned briefly a bit about circular economy. There are automotive companies that are interested in what we're doing. Obviously, they've got their own shareholders which they have to communicate with, and we all know that environmental issues are a big thing these days. And so an automotive company, if they can be associated with a company such as ours and tell their shareholders that there's an environmentally friendly way of recovering precious metals from spent diesel catalytic converters, and also have the ability to use this recovered precious metals in the manufacture of new catalytic converters, is a huge bonus for them, and hence we'll be finding ourselves in partnerships with these types of companies simply to assist in that particular area. There's a high involvement on the green initiative side. Just in Tennessee alone, we've got so much exposure from the state and national levels on what we're doing, and we'll be working with the right parties to promote that as we move forward. We are definitely a 100% green initiative, and we'll be, as I said, pursuing that area much more aggressively as we get into full commercial production. Carbon credits will become a secondary revenue source for us, no question about that, and quite a large one. We've just started looking in that particular area. We need a little more audit data from what our process does. So until we're in full commercial production, we can't move much more further along in this regard. But it's basically as I said, a heavily audited process whereby you're looking at what you use on the electrical side, what you emit into the atmosphere, comparatively speaking, what a miner would have to do, for example, to get 70,000 ounces of platinum palladium out of the ground, process it, transport it. So it's a pretty complicated process. But once we get the data from our own facility, we'll be able to really aggressively go after this particular avenue. So our development milestones. We started our lab research in 2020 in Vancouver, Canada. That was the chemical side of it. Very successful at that. So our technology, we've decided not to patent the chemistry side or the or the process side. And there's business reasons for that. We're going to keep it pretty close to our chest, if you like, and go on that basis. That's not a uncommon strategy in the chemical manufacturing world, and we prefer to go that route as well. So as I was mentioning, 2020 we started our lab research, successfully completed that well enough to take a look at a pilot plant model, which again we built that ourselves in Vancouver, and that went very well. And in order to get a better feel for the scale up process and how to fine tune the commercial plant itself, we relocated that plant down to Tennessee, and continued working on the scale up basis of that. The data which we accumulated from that gave us the final detail on what we needed to do for our design of our modular commercial plant concept. That was completed. We in 2022 we started construction of our first module, and that module was completed. Construction was completed in 2023. We in April, just a short time ago, that our first plant will have one module. Module one is completed. We're going through the commissioning process of that, which will take approximately 90 days. And after that period of time, module one should be doing 2.5 tons a day, like we anticipate. 2.5 tons per day will give us the revenue base to get into a positive cash flow position as a company, which is very encouraging for us. Anytime a junior can become a cash flow positive, it's enormous. So the other, once we check off the boxes on module one, we'll start the procurement process for modules 2, 3, and 4, which will also go into that facility. And that facility will be doing approximately $100 million per year in annual revenues. And so our future expansion mode is that's going to be the one thing we have to be careful about. We have everybody's pulling us to go here, to go there, but we will manage our growth properly. We will build a strong outreach of business in the U.S. marketplace. Once we have our business firmly entrenched there, we'll take a look at international opportunities because there's a lot of them already. So to me, our biggest, what we have to be most careful about going in the future is how we manage our growth. And that's going to be in the top of our list. Management team, we've got people who have been in the business for a considerable period of time, and we've got a business-based entrepreneurial spirit, which it's our culture is to get things done, and we've got the right people in place to do that, both from the technical side and from the business side. And we've got a strong board also to help us in that in endeavor as well. So that's our story. I'd like you to follow what we're doing and keep us on your radar, because this is going to happen quickly. It's not going to be a 2-year or a 3-year story. It's less than a 90-day story, and we're in commercial production. So. Thank you for the time to hear our story. We've got some questions here. I'm thinking that I should be reading them. Congratulations to your team and amazing work thus far to get the plant up and running. Can you say how much input module 1 is currently processing? We're just starting the feedstocking. The first part of the processing is equipment functioning, is the water test, is there leaks, is the pressures properly. We've accomplished all that, and oh, I'm sorry. I guess we're out of time here. So anybody can please send us the questions you have. I'm more than happy to answer those. So I never realized that we ran out of time here. So I apologize for that. And as I said, send me an email or whatever, and we can definitely answer any questions that you may